You know, the fundamental problem that we face as human beings is trying to figure out what we want to do in this world and why we actually want to do that thing, and then what is our impact going to be in this world. And it is a challenge for all of us. We really struggle with this. We're limited in our abilities. We can't do everything that we would love to do on a daily basis. And yet, as human beings, we each can have a tremendous impact if you choose wisely and you focus on the things that will give you the biggest impact. So if you don't know me, I am an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out that I wanted to pay the favor forward and help you out as much as I possibly can. So choosing what we want to do in this world is a difficult thing. And in this world, we are faced with all sorts of decisions in the quote-unquote real world where we have to prioritize whether it's work, whether it's family, whether it's friends, or whether we want to have our own time, or whether we want to dedicate time to spirituality, whether we want to play or learn something. And then in the social world, in the social network world, where we have information technology, we have to choose whether we want to spend a lot of time using information technology and how we want to interact with that information technology. It is a real challenge because there are people on the other side of the information technology that's trying to make that information technology, the social networks that we have, work as effectively as they can and entice people to use those particular platforms, software platforms, as much as they possibly can. So it is a challenge because we are always trying to figure out what we're supposed to be dedicating our time to and why we actually want to be spending our time with that. And I think most of us get mixed up in this world and we don't necessarily think about why we want to do things and really dedicate time to just thinking about that. And so we get sucked into, quote unquote, sucked into various different aspects of our life, whether we dedicate too much time to work, whether we dedicate too much time to family, whether we spend too much time on social media or watching television. We tend to wander in different directions because we're not actively engaged in thinking about what we want to accomplish in our life. And so what I would encourage you to do, and what I try to do on a regular basis, even though it's difficult for me, just like it is for you, I find it challenging every single day to do these things, but to really focus on where you can have the largest impact. And then when you are interacting on those different aspects of your life, what can you do to make it scalable in such that you can have an even larger impact? So, for example, social media tends to suck us in, and we tend to gravitate towards that and spend more time doing that. And the more that we feel that we dedicate to that social media, the more that awareness we get. But I want you to think about this differently and think about social media as not necessarily a negative thing in that it is harming us in different ways, but it is allowing us to spread our message in what we want to get across. So if your message is things like fear, hate, anxiety, difficulties that other people might experience, all sorts of things that are negative, then you're going to be spreading that. And that is going to be your main message. And your world is going to be surrounded by negative things. It's going to be very dark. And you are going to have a lot of negative feelings. And if you're spreading things like, popularity, then we're going to play up things about popularity and focus on external negative or external characteristics that we have. So, for example, our beauty, the way we speak, the way that, maybe it's our color of our skin. But instead, and those things will get built up and those things will become part of our life. And that's what we'll focus on. Likes and hearts and all those particular things. But instead, if we focus on truly trying to get our message across about things like peace and prosperity and love, interacting, positive interactions with other people. Your world becomes about positive interactions with other people. And I'm not saying that the world is necessarily a positive thing at this moment. It is very dark in a lot of different ways, and it's very concerning in a lot of different ways for many different reasons. But it's always been like that. Our world has always been very dark. There's lots of things that go on that I don't approve of, that many people don't approve of. But what I want you to start thinking about is how you can have a positive impact in this world, and how you can leverage the things around you to have a positive impact on your life, and how you can grow what you really want to grow, whatever that looks like to you, and how you can ever accomplish that. So whether it is, doing things like studying and doing research in a particular domain and looking at how you can spread that message, well, that might be a really positive thing that you can do to change this world in a positive way and allow yourself to become more positive. And I encourage you to do things like that. And as well, if you can look at ways that you can leverage your relationships such that you can be more proactive in your life. So whether you have a relationship, well, doing things like showing affection with other people and interacting with those people and having a richer relationship really does go a long ways. And I'm going to tell you, I struggle with this. It's all very difficult. But the more that you actively engage and you become part of what you want to do, and you keep that active mindset, the more that things are going to grow, and it's going to be much more positive for you and for the people around you as you interact with things around you. So social media, for example, is like money and like wealth. So it's not money per se, but it's like wealth. The more that you get of that, and the more fame you get, and the more popularity you get, the more wealth you get, the more it allows you to be who you are deep down inside. So if you're a negative, deep, dark person, then the more that you actually get of wealth allows you to do that. And the more that you're a positive person that tries to focus on the greater good, that is trying to have a positive impact, the more that wealth can actually leverage that, and you could do some really wonderful things in this world. It's the same thing as having social media. It's the same thing as trying to work on your family. The more that you work within your family and on your family, the better that you can leverage and grow that. So really focus on what you want to be and who you want to be going forward. It really truly makes a difference. And as you do this decade after decade, the better off you're going to be, and the more that your positive impact will grow as it grows and as your influence actually grows going forward. So remember, human beings can have a very positive impact and can have a very large impact, especially in this day and age because of the resources we have. So if you're in Africa right now, or Australia, or wherever, whatever continent that you're on, look at ways that you can leverage and grow yourself, and look at ways that you can have a positive impact and really become a much better person in all sorts of different dimensions of your life, because we can do that. And the more that we use various tools, whether it's wealth, whether it's social media, whether it's your family and friends, whether it is belonging to some sort of social community like a church or a religious organization, the more that we can leverage that to become a better person, the more happier and better experience you're going to have, but as well, the more of a positive impact you're going to have in this world. And if you could do that decade after decade after decade, the more that your impact will grow, and the more of an amazing world that we can create together. I know that this is a bit of a prosperity message or one of these hokey messages, but I truly do believe this, and I think it does matter in the long run and what you're trying to accomplish going forward. So with that, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and do take care, and have a wonderful day. All right, bye.